Welcome to Physical Education for SS1 at Light Tech Academy. Today we study training principles, overload and specificity, and related principles. What are training principles? Training principles are the scientific guidelines that must be followed to ensure that a training program is safe, effective, and produces the desired improvements in fitness and performance. Without following these principles, training can be ineffective, producing no improvement, or even harmful, causing injury or overtraining. The main training principles, FIT/SPORT acronym. Core principles. 1. Overload. 2. Specificity. 3. Progressive overload. 4. Reversibility. 5. Tedium, variety. 6. Individual differences. 7. Recovery/rest. 8. Adaptation. Principle 1. Overload. Definition: to improve fitness, the body must be worked harder than it is normally accustomed to, the body must be stressed beyond its current comfort level. Without overload, if you only do what you can already do comfortably, the body has no reason to adapt and improve. With overload, the body responds to the stress by adapting, becoming stronger, faster, or more enduring. How to apply overload? The FIT principle. Overload can be achieved by manipulating 4 variables. A. Frequency, how often you train per week. Example, training 4 days per week instead of 2 days per week. General recommendation for aerobic fitness, 3 to 5 days/week. Strength training, 2 to 4 days/week, with rest days between muscle groups. B. Intensity, how hard you train. For cardiovascular, measured as % of maximum heart rate, % HR-max. Maximum heart rate is HR-max equals 220 ag for most people. For a 16-year-old, HR-max equals 220, 16 is equal to 204 BPM. Training zones. Asterisk light intensity, 50 to 60% HR-max, warm-up, recovery. Asterisk moderate intensity, 60 to 70% HR-max, fat-burning zone, health benefits. Asterisk vigorous intensity, 70 to 85% HR-max, improving cardiovascular fitness. Asterisk high intensity, 85 to 95% HR-max, high-performance training, interval training. Asterisk maximum intensity, 95 to 100% HR-max, sprinting, maximal effort. For strength training, % of 1 RM, 70 to 85% of 1 RM for strength development. C. Time, duration, how long each training session lasts. Example, 30 minutes per session, 45 minutes per session. WHO recommendation, adults 150 minutes per week moderate intensity or 75 minutes per week vigorous intensity. D. Type, what kind of exercise is performed. Example, adding heels to a running program, same type but different demand. Or changing from running to cycling, different type of training. Nigerian school application. A student doing the 12-minute Cooper run can apply overload by increasing frequency, more weekly runs, intensity, faster pace, or time, running for 15 minutes instead of 12. A footballer wanting to improve muscular endurance applies overload by increasing training repetitions, sets, or load. Principle 2. Specificity, said principle. Definition: training adaptations are specific to the type of exercise performed, you improve at what you specifically train for. Said equals specific adaptation to imposed demand. Key aspects of specificity. A. Muscle specificity. The muscles trained are the muscles that improve. A marathon runner who only runs will not develop upper body strength, unless they also train upper body. A swimmer needs shoulder/lats strengthening in the pool and gym. B. Energy system specificity. The energy system stressed in training is the one that adapts. Sprinter must train the ATP-PCR and anaerobic glycolytic systems, short, explosive burst. Marathon runner must train the aerobic system, long, sustained runs. Training a sprinter by having them run slow 10 km runs will not improve their sprint speed significantly. C. Movement pattern specificity. Train the specific movements used in your sport. A football player should do plyometric drills or jumping, bounding, and sprint drills. A basketball player should practice the specific cutting, jumping, and shooting movements of basketball. Skill training must mirror competitive conditions. D. Physiological specificity. Strength training builds type IIB fast twitch fibers, power. Endurance training builds type I slow twitch fibers, endurance. A player cannot simultaneously maximize both endurance and maximum strength, some interference effect exists between them. Nigerian application. Super Eagles training. Nigerian national football team training must be football specific, not just general fitness. The tactical and physical demands of international football require sport-specific preparation. Nigerian sprinters training for the 100m or 100-meter hurdles must do short, high-intensity sprint repetitions, not long-distance running. Toby Amuson's training is highly specific to the hurdle sprint, explosive starts, hurdle technique, fast ground contact times. Principle 3. Progressive overload. Definition: the overload must be gradually and progressively increased over time as the body adapts. Steps: start overload adaptation, new baseline overload, again new adaptation. Progression guidelines: increase total training volume by no more than 10% per week, the 10% rule, to avoid injury. Example: week 1, run 20 km total, week 2, 22 km, week 3, 24 km, not jump to 40 km suddenly. Periodically include deload weeks, lighter training, every 4 to 6 weeks to allow recovery and prevent overtraining. Principle 4. Reversibility, use it or lose it. Definition: when training stops or significantly decreases, the body loses its training adaptations relatively quickly. Rates of reversal. Cardiovascular fitness declines noticeably within 2 to 3 weeks of inactivity. VO2 max can decline 10% in 4 weeks. Muscular strength declines more slowly, noticeable after 3 to 4 weeks, can lose significant strength in 2 to 3 months. Flexibility declines relatively quickly, stretching must be maintained consistently. Implication: athletes who are injured must maintain fitness through alternative training, cross-training, that avoids the injury but keeps the cardiovascular and other fitness components active. Nigerian context: during long school holidays, Christmas/Easter, student athletes who stop training lose fitness. A structured off-season maintenance program is important. Principle 5. Tedium, variety. Definition: training programs should include variety to prevent boredom and staleness, both psychological and physiological. Benefits of variety: maintains motivation and enjoyment. Prevents psychological staleness, loss of motivation. Reduces overuse injury risk, constantly repeating the same movement can cause injury. Challenges different muscle groups and energy systems. Methods: cross-training, circuit training, changing venues, adding sport-specific drills, team games, trying new activities. Principle 6. Individual differences. Definition: each person responds differently to the same training program based on their genetics, age, fitness level, health, and experience. Implications: what works for one athlete may not work for another. Training programs should be individualized. Age: young athletes have different needs from older adults, growth plates must be protected in adolescents. Beginners adapt faster than experienced athletes, novice effect. Genetic factors: muscle fiber type, VO2 max potential, set limits on maximal adaptation. Principle 7. Recovery/rest. Definition: adequate rest is essential for adaptations to occur. Training breaks muscle down. Rest plus nutrition is when the body rebuilds stronger. Adaptation supercompensation cycle. Training stimulus body stress/fatigue recovery supercompensation. Performance rises above pre-training level. Next training session should occur at supercompensation peak. Overtraining syndrome. Result of insufficient recovery between training sessions. Symptoms: persistent fatigue, decreased performance, increased injury risk, mood disturbances, suppressed immune system, frequent illness. Treatment: rest, reduced training volume, nutrition, psychological support. Principle 8. Adaptation. Definition: with appropriate training, the body adapts, changes structurally and functionally, to become better at performing the demanded tasks. Adaptations occur at multiple levels. Neural adaptations: first to occur, improved motor unit recruitment and coordination. Muscular adaptations: hypertrophy, increased enzymes. Cardiovascular adaptations: cardiac hypertrophy, increased capillaries. Structural adaptations: stronger bones, tendons, ligaments. The FIT-VP principle, extended version used in advanced curriculum. Frequency, intensity, time, duration, type, volume, or total amount of work, progression. Warm-up and cool-down. Essential component of every training session. Warm-up, 10 to 15 minutes before exercise. Purpose: gradually increase heart rate and body temperature. Increase blood flow to muscles. Improve flexibility and joint range of motion. Reduce risk of injury. Mental preparation. Components. 1. General warm-up, light aerobic activity, jogging, skipping, 5 to 10 minutes. 2. Dynamic stretching, controlled arm/leg swings, high knees, butt kicks, hip circles. 3. Sport-specific drills, for football, passing, dribbling at low intensity, for athletics, running drills, A-skip, B-skip. Cool down, 10 to 15 minutes after exercise. Purpose: gradually decrease heart rate and body temperature. Remove metabolic waste products, lactic acid, from muscles more quickly. Reduce DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. Improve flexibility, muscles are warm, best time for static stretching. Psychological wind down. Components. 1. Gentle aerobic activity, slow jog/walk, 5 minutes. 2. Static stretching, hold each stretch 15 to 30 seconds, focus on major muscle groups used. 3. Hydration and nutrition, begin rehydration and post-exercise nutrition immediately. Nigerian school PE training principles in practice. Interhouse sports. Nigerian secondary schools hold interhouse sports competitions. Students must train progressively, progressive overload, for specific events, specificity, in their house team. NERDC curriculum explicitly teaches training principles as part of fitness education. National Secondary School Sports Federation, student athletes competing at state and national levels need structured training programs based on these principles. Sports coaches in Nigeria, coaches at clubs like Shooting Stars FC, Ibadan, Kano Pillars FC, Enyimba FC, ABA, use these principles in developing professional Nigerian footballers. WAEC exam tips. 1. Training principles. Overload, train harder than comfortable, must stress body to adapt. Specificity, said, adaptation specific to type of training, progressive overload, gradually increase. Reversibility, use it or lose it, tedium/variety, individual differences, recovery, adaptation. 2. FITT principle, how to apply overload frequency, intensity, time, type. 3. Maximum heart rate formula, 220, age, for 16-year-old equals 204 BPM. 4. Training zones, light, 50 to 60%, moderate, 60 to 70%, vigorous, 70 to 85%, high, 85 to 95%, maximum, 95 to 100%. 5. 10% rule, increase total training volume by max 10% per week to prevent injury. 6. Reversibility rates, CV fitness declines in 2 to 3 weeks, muscular strength declines slower, 3 to 4 weeks noticeable. 7. Supercompensation, training fatigue recovery performance rises above baseline. 8. Overtraining symptoms, fatigue, decreased performance, injury, mood disturbance, illness. 9. Warm-up components, general aerobic plus dynamic stretching plus sport-specific, cool-down, gentle aerobic plus static stretching plus hydration. Summary. Training principles, overload, work harder than comfortable, specificity, said, train what you want to improve, progressive overload, gradually increase load, a 10% rule, reversibility, fitness lost quickly without training, variety, prevent boredom and overuse, individual differences, recovery, supercompensation, adaptation. FITT, frequency, intensity, time, type, 4 ways to apply overload. HRmax equals 220, age, training zones from 50 to 100% HRmax. Warm-up, general aerobic plus dynamic stretching plus sport drills, cool-down, gentle aerobic plus static stretching. Overtraining, insufficient recovery, symptoms include fatigue, decreased performance, illness. Powered by Lightech Academy academy.lightech.com.ng NERDC-approved SS1 Physical Education.